All right, so I'm going to copy my center lines. So I'm taking all of my center lines. I'm taking all of my center lines. And I put it on the side. So I'm going to do a new layer now. I'm going to call that layer column. So copy. Column. I'm seeing, right, column. My color will be red. Continuous. .35. You're going to make it current. So make it current. I'm going to create a square now. So the square to represent my column. The columns are usually 10 by 10, 10 inches by 10 inches, or, well, as you know, CXC could give you different sizes of the columns, right? But we use 10 by 10. So that would be 225 by, sorry, 250 by 250. So I'm going to do a square, a polyline, 250, 250. All right, let me do that again. Sorry. Polyline. So 250, enter. Downwards 250. I zoom mine, so that's why it looks big. 250. Then 250. And then back to where I started. I'm going to create a diagonal line inside. I'm going to do a diagonal line. So I'm going to copy now. I'm going to copy my polyline. I'm not taking the center. So I'm picking my polyline. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go now on the center, and then I'm going to come and place it at the corner of my wall. So that's one here, and then here, and then next corner, and then next one, and then next one, and next one, and here, and here, and here. So once you copy and you find the center, you can just paste them. Right, so I think I have all of my columns accounted for. All of my columns are accounted for. The battery probably going. Battery going. All right. You're seeing them? So once you finish your escape, let me change the color so you'll be able to see. I'll just use cyan to so at least you'll be able to see it better on the board. That thing might need to charge. Right. So we finished? So let's Not yet? So wherever there is a column, you must have a footing, right? So wherever there's a column, you must have a footing. I can move on now. Yes, Sadie, you go there. All right, so my footing now is 3 by 3, which is 300 by 300. So what we're doing, again, we're going to do another polyline, but let me put on my layer now. So I'm going to do a layer. Use the footing layer. Use the footing layer, so you can double click on the footing. Double click on the footing, and then you're going to X off. Right, so the footing is 3 feet by 3 feet, so which is 900 by 900, sorry. So 900 by 900. So I'm going to do another polyline. And I'm going to do 900 this time. So 900, 900, 900, 900. So again, if you want to see, remember your footing will be under the ground. So if you pick on it and then you zoom, then you get to see that your lines are dashed, right? So I'm going to do another diagonal line. I'm going to copy the footing now. Copy the footing. Hit enter. Take your center. So you're not taking the diagonal lines. Because if you take them, you still have to erase them for each one. It's much longer. So you're just taking the footing. We did the diagonal line to find our center, and then we're going to come and do the same thing. So back on. So that's my first base, and then I have my column. So if you're looking down, you're going to see the square of the column and the square of the base. So for each one, I am going to. So remember I was saying to you where they, right, so where they're meeting, We may have to trim off one of the lines or remove the lines after, but I do that when I'm finished. So I'm going to go next one. So wherever there is a footing, a column, sorry, there would be a footing. All right, so I have all of them accounted for. So I'm going to, in this case, and I'm going to trim. But I must explore it first because it comes in as a block. So I'm going to explore and then I'm going to trim. So I'm trimming, so that now becomes a whole block together. So to be a continuous again, I'm going to explode here and trim. So it's not always the case. That will only happen when the columns are close, right? So where they're intersecting, you're going to trim, explode first and trim. So that's your pad foundation by itself. So if you have to do the overhead beams, so you have beams and columns, what you do, you simply connect your line from this point. Let me use another layer, I'll call that beam. So I'm going to do my beam. I'll use yellow, but you can use what color you use. Well, you had red, so you're fine, and you have magenta. So you could probably use green or cyan. No, you have the center lines as green. So cyan, you could use cyan. Sorry, I like to use the colors on the standard hues, colors on the hue at the bottom here. So I'll use the yellow just for you to be able to see it. Your line weights will be 0.30 or 0.35. 0.30 or 0.35. So I'm going to draw my line now from column to column, column to column, column to column, column. So that's beam and column layouts. Or the first one would be like the pad foundation, which is the same thing as a column layout there. All right, so I think you get the idea as to what is required. Then you will have your notes now. Oh, so you're drawing your beams from the column. So end of the column, this point here to the other side. So you just simply draw. For the beam. So you're going to get in a new layer. Beam. Alright, so we had the beam. You could use cyan. Oh, your beam. What you had your beam as dashed, right? You have your beam dashed. It should be continuous. I think I just copied. I didn't change the line type. So make your line type for. Just go back in. They wouldn't change your. So you're going on beam. Continuous. Right? So make sure that it's continuous. When you do it like you could now to in an exam situation, you could just extend it, right, to make it easier. Then you have to pick and pick and pick and pick. So on the but when you actually doing this, usually the columns we are going to hatch it, so you don't get to see the you wouldn't really get to see the line. So you could have extended it. Yeah, could have extended the lines there. But if it is not hatched, then you will see a line that is thicker than the others. Yeah. So in the textbook, I think what they did, they have this hatch. So they went into hatch. Solid, and they apply it. Sorry. So it will be so solid, and these are usually red, right? So determines nanobond, right? Right. Right, so you tend to see it like this. So you tend to see all of your columns that is hatched and it will be red, right? All of them. All right, so page 259. So page 259, you have the foundation layout, they call it, so RC foundation layout. So this one is the same columns I was explaining to you. All right, I explained the beam, yeah, but by itself, if you don't have to do the beams, then you will just do your column layout or your reinforced concrete foundation layout. So that's page 259. The other one on the side here, close to it, this one here will be part of the strip foundation. All right, so the same on the same page. So the notes that they have here is so yesterday I used 200 by 200 RC columns. CXC could give you your columns as 200 by 200. Our standard in Grenada is 250, which is 10 by 10 columns. For the footing, we normally use 900 by 900. That's our standard in Grenada. But here they're asking, they have in this one 600 by 600 RC footing. So what they give you in the exam, that is what will stand. So you have to use the measurements that they give. All right. So that's the only two notes pieces of information that you need to put in. And of course, you must dimension. So you're dimensioning by centers. So same applies for the drawing yesterday. Center to center, 1,000. And then you do continuous. The overall length, so you're going from center again, center to center, 1500, enter. So you have your second dimension line, and the same will apply for the other sides. Yesterday we did a strip, but I forgot to mention that on the strip foundation you have to show your the BRC wire mesh. So you can draw a circle anywhere the wire mesh actually happens in the floor slab area. So if you break the slab, then you will see the wire mesh inside. So you can do a circle anywhere on the drawing, any size, and then you're going to go into hatching. You're going to look for nets, you will put in your size. So I already had mine as 1,000, and you just apply it, right? You can do your hatching using probably cyan. You could use magenta, but it has to be continuous, so not dashed, because when you print it, you will see the lines being dashed inside, right? So it's only one area that you're using. You're going to place this in there. So that's the only thing I forgot yesterday, as I was doing that with 5G this morning. I remembered. So your note for this one will be the BRC wire fabric, or they say wire mesh. BRC wire fabric or BRC wire mesh. Bell went? Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. I have you all on Thursday, right? Okay, so we're going to do some more detailed drawings tomorrow. God's willing. So I want to do the step detail. We're going to do the step detail tomorrow, not tomorrow, Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so Thursday we do the step detail. Right? What's the other one? The internal and external. What on is that one was no, I was trying to figure. Let me go on with it. Right, so we're doing the load bearing and the non-load bearing walls tomorrow. So we're doing those two tomorrow, God's willing, or Thursday, God's willing. Any questions?